Hi, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how you can color correct your footage and my process of how I color correct and color grade my footage as well. And all these footage I'm going to be using come from 3 different cameras. So it's going to be A7R III, a GoPro, and a DJI Osmo Pocket. So let's just jump right into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drag in all my footage from, yes, I'll just keep the settings. So the first, like I said before, the first set of clips I'm going to drag in, these are coming from A7R III, and this is coming from DJI, as you can see in the footage, and these are the Hero GoPro Hero 7. So quite a few cameras here. So there's 3 cameras altogether. I'm going to be spending a few minutes cutting out some of these footage, and here are a few photos from the A7R III as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly go through all this footage, and you're probably going to be fast forwarded. Okay, so as you can see, I chopped up quite a bit of footage. So all these clips came from a trip in Japan. It was during the snowing and skiing season, so this is all the footage of us traveling. So what I like to do with color correcting is I like to use adjustment layer. The reason why I like to use adjustment layer is so that you don't work on the file itself. And the reason for that is you don't have, so if you do work on the file itself, even you do want to change it, you have to change and turn off or delete the effects from each footage. So what I like to do is I'd like to use adjustment layer. So I just apply it to any footage that I believe that needs that. And then after that, I'll probably put another adjustment layer just for color grading. But that's if you want to. So for something as small as this, I'll probably just put everything into one adjustment layer. Okay, so first thing you want to do is to get your adjustment layer, what you need to do is go down to your project panel and click on new item and look for adjustment layer. And then just click OK. And then you have your adjustment layer in your project. Just pull it down, and as you can see, you have it right there. So I'm going to try to adjust or color correct the footage from my A7R first. So the first thing I want to do is I want to pull some colors out of this one. So what you want to do is you want to go to the effect panel and go find color lumetri or lumetri colors, and just drag it out onto your adjustment layer. So as you can see, that nothing's really happening because you haven't really tuned in any colors yet. So I want to go through some of these color correction and what these effects really does. So color correction is pretty much what you want the footage to have a standard first. What you want to do is you want to try and make all the footage look similar. Okay, so for this one, obviously all these 3 footage look similar because it came out from the same camera. But as you can see, that these footage here might look a little bit different. So this one is a little bit more flat, and maybe fix up the exposure. I'll see if I could put it to 1. That looks a little bit better, so it's a little bit brighter. And I think that's all I should do to this. Contrast, I could probably drop the contrast a little bit, increase the contrast a little bit. I think the highlights are a little bit crazy because I've increased the exposure. So if I drop it a little bit, increase the shadows a little bit, or reduce the shadow, I think that looks pretty good. So if I turn off and on, I think that looks a little bit better, so it looks a bit more dreamy. And saturation, should I increase the saturation just a little bit? I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so that's what I've done to this one. So next bit, so this DJI, oops. So let's see what this looks like. Okay, so straight off the bat, I would need to pull in the lumetri color. So because I'm going to be doing this for a little bit, so I'm going to just cut and pull it out. So I'm going to press the Alt key and copy that out. So you can see if I click on this Alt, and you can see that I've made a copy of it. So I'm just going to delete that. Actually, I should probably make a copy for these photos. Okay. So for the DJI footage, as you can see, the color is a little bit, you know, it's a little bit dull. So what I want to do is I'm going to try to match what the other one looks like. I probably need to pull the colors out a little bit. So saturation, go up. Maybe not that much. That was a bit crazy. So maybe 125. Temperature. That's a little bit crazy. Let's see what happens if it increases temperature. Yep, the exposure looks good. So the best part about color correcting is there really isn't a right or wrong way of doing it, or there's no real right or wrong answer to this. So all of this is just have to do with trial and error and to your taste and what you like. And if people don't like it, you know, they can just tell you they don't like it. But at the end of the day, it's up to you because it's your footage, it's your photo, it's your movie. You do whatever the hell you want with it. So to tell anyone else who disagrees to bugger off. So as you can see, the footage here looks a little bit. So as you can see, when there's so you can see the footage here is a little bit more colorful. Same with this one here, so it's more brighter. I reckon that's pretty good. Okay, let's move on. So same thing, I think this one is a little bit more quite dull. So I'm probably going to increase the exposure and probably hit the saturation 125 and see what happens. Could probably do a little bit more color. Yep, shadows, probably drop the shadows a little bit. Increase the white, probably not. I think it's pretty white already. So contrast. Reduce contrast, increase contrast. Okay, so I reckon that looks pretty good. So the good thing about having an adjustment layer is you can just pretty much turn off everything, or just all the adjustment layer. Just click on and toggling the eyeball of the layer, and that will just turn off everything in that layer. So yeah, that gives you a little bit more. This gives you a little bit more of a dreamy looking footage. And yeah, I reckon it looks pretty good. Okay, so next one here. So, okay, so like I said, this one, the color is a little bit warm on this one. So what I mean by warm is the color, the white balance of this photo wasn't correct when I first took the photo. So everything is really, really orangey. So even the things that are supposed to be white are a little bit more orangey. So to correct that, what you want to do is you want to fix a white balance. So you can either toggle down, push this down to try to get it cooler. And I think I've done it too far. But anyway, so you can try to get a little bit of adjustment. So what you can do is you can just click on this thing here, this white temperature, the white balance selector. Click on the eye drop, and see if that does anything. So as you can see that I got an eye droplet sample of that and say that this is supposed to be white. So anything that is in this shade, make it white. And that's what they came up with. So let's try that again. Nope, not good. Okay, so I think this is probably as good as we can get it. It's not too bad. If you want to have a comparison, that's what it looks like before, and this is what it looks like now. So obviously it's still a little bit orangey, but at least you can tell that the umbrella here is whiter and the sleeve is a little bit more white. And that's something that you need to be aware. When you're taking a photo, when you're recording something, make sure that you get the white balance correct, because there's only so much you can do with a footage that is too warm or too cool before you really ruin the footage if you push it too far. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that the white balance is set correctly. I mean, this one isn't too bad. It could have been worse, but at least it's always in a way salvageable. Moving on, this photo is, like I said, it's a picture of a little car. Now that I made it all look kind of similar, what you can do is you can add another adjustment layer on top. and this is going to be the color grading. So for this one, I'm going to drop in another Lumetri color, and this is going to be the color grades. So what I would like to do is I'll probably put in all the fades or all the things I want to do with it, and then I can probably make it more saturated or less saturated, judging on what I like my footage to look like. And that's pretty much how I work with my footage, really. So I usually have 2 adjustment layers on top, and then one adjustment layer that will just going to be the color correction, and then it's going to be another footage over it for color grading. So everyone has their own little workflow, and then some people might work differently, but that's how I do mine. And there's plenty of ways you can use adjustment layers, but for some reason I just like to use it with my for color grading instead. So the other thing you can do with adjustment layer is, you can make transitions with it, but that's for other photo. That's probably for another video. I think that's enough. I think this video is long enough as it is. So if you have any questions on how to do this or what I do, let me know in the comment below, and I might be able to respond to you. Okay, have a go at it and let me know how you go.